The bell above the bank door chimed softly as the elderly farmer stepped inside. He paused just past the threshold, as if giving the building time to notice him. The lobby smelled faintly of polished floors and paper, clean, sharp, unfamiliar. Sunlight streamed through the tall windows, reflecting off marble counters and glass partitions. Everything looked expensive. Everything looked rushed. The farmer adjusted his hat, smoothing its frayed brim with a careful thumb. His boots were clean but worn thin at the soles, the kind of wear earned over decades, not neglect. His jacket hung neatly on his shoulders, pressed but old, holding the faint scent of soil and open air. People glanced up. A woman in a tailored suit flicked her eyes over him, then back to her phone. A young man at the counter shifted impatiently, tapping a pen. Near the far desk, the bank manager watched from behind glass walls, gaze lingering a second longer than polite before he turned away. The farmer walked slowly to the line and stood straight, hands folded behind his back. He didn't sigh. He didn't check the clock. He simply waited. After a moment, a teller called out, "Next." Before the farmer could step forward, another customer cut in, well-dressed, confident, already halfway to the counter. The teller hesitated, then smiled and helped him without question. The farmer stepped back, unbothered. From the manager's office, the scene was noted, and dismissed. The farmer didn't look important. No briefcase. No urgency. Just an old man with time. Minutes passed. The farmer studied the room quietly. The framed certificates on the wall. The security camera blinking red. The clock above the door ticking steadily, marking moments no one else seemed to respect. At last, he approached the front desk again. "Yes?" the teller asked, polite but distracted. "I'd like to see the manager," the farmer said calmly. The teller blinked. "Do you have an appointment?" "No, ma'am." She glanced toward the office, then back at him. "You'll need to wait." "That's all right," he replied with a small nod. She pointed to a chair near the wall, the least comfortable one, tucked away from the counters. The farmer thanked her and sat down, resting his hat on his knees. As the lobby buzzed back to life, the manager closed his office door. The farmer waited, unmoving, uncomplaining, and unnoticed by everyone except time itself. The farmer settled into it without complaint, resting his weight carefully, as if he didn't want to disturb anything, not the floor, not the air, not the hurried rhythm of the bank. His hat lay across his knees, both hands folded over it, thumbs rubbing the worn felt in slow, familiar motions. Across the lobby, life continued at a faster pace. Customers came and went in bursts. A man in a crisp shirt laughed loudly as he signed papers. A woman argued into her phone about interest rates, pacing near the door. Each time the bell chimed, a new face entered, glanced around, and was helped, often before the farmer even had time to stand. He noticed, of course. He noticed the way tellers avoided meeting his eyes. The way the manager walked past once, twice, without stopping. The way someone lowered their voice when they passed him, as if age itself demanded silence. Still, he waited. The clock on the wall ticked loudly now, each second landing with weight. The farmer watched it without irritation. Time had never been his enemy. On the farm, you learned early that rushing didn't make crops grow faster, or storms pass sooner. At one point, a young teller approached, holding a clipboard. She smiled, but it was the kind of smile practiced in training videos. "Sir, the manager is very busy today," she said. "It may be a while." The farmer nodded. "I understand." She hesitated, then gestured vaguely. "You're welcome to come back another day." "That's kind of you," he replied. "But I'll stay." The teller seemed unsure what to say to that. She offered a final smile and retreated. Minutes stretched into an hour. The chair pressed into his back now, but he didn't shift. His eyes wandered to the window, where traffic moved like a river, constant, impatient. He thought of his fields at home, wide and quiet, where patience was rewarded and every season had its turn. Another customer passed, muttering, "They let anyone in here." The farmer heard it. He didn't react. From the manager's office, a glance flicked toward the waiting chair. A note was made. Not urgent. The farmer breathed slowly, steadily. What the bank didn't know, what no one there suspected, was that this waiting wasn't weakness. It was observation. And every second that passed was quietly shaping a decision that would soon matter to them all. The bank manager leaned back in his leather chair, skimming through emails that all sounded the same, requests, complaints, numbers that blurred together. Through the glass wall of his office, the lobby looked orderly, controlled. Exactly how he liked it. His eyes drifted, briefly, to the waiting area. The old man was still there. The manager frowned. Stubborn, he thought. Or worse, confused. He'd seen plenty like him over the years. People who didn't understand how things worked anymore. People who mistook patience for importance. He turned back to his screen. Outside his office, a teller whispered to another, glancing toward the chair. The manager caught the look and tapped the glass lightly, a silent signal to keep things moving. Focus on clients who matter, he muttered under his breath. Time passed. The farmer shifted only once, crossing his ankles, hands still folded over his hat. His gaze wasn't dull or lost, it was steady, observant. He watched how the manager greeted certain customers with handshakes and smiles, how others were brushed aside with practiced efficiency. Patterns emerged. A man in an expensive suit walked in late and was ushered straight to the manager's office. The farmer watched the door close behind him, the blinds drawn halfway. No questions. No waiting. The farmer looked down at his hands, broad, weathered, scarred by years of honest work. He turned one palm upward, tracing an old cut with his thumb. This hand had signed more checks than anyone in that building realized. A teller approached the manager's office quietly. Sir, the gentleman by the wall is asking again. The manager didn't look up. Didn't I tell you he'd have to wait? Yes, but he's been here over an hour. The manager sighed, irritation sharpening his voice. Then he can wait another. He's not going anywhere. The teller hesitated. He seems calm. That's because he has nowhere else to be, the manager replied, dismissive. Some people just like the attention. The words lingered heavier than intended. Across the lobby, the farmer heard none of it but felt the weight of it all the same. Disrespect had a temperature. You didn't need to hear it to sense it. He looked once more at the clock. Nearly 2 hours now. The farmer inhaled deeply, then exhaled, slow and measured. A decision settled into place, firm as a fence post driven into dry ground. When the manager finally stood and straightened his tie, convinced he was still in control of the day, he had no idea the quiet man in the waiting chair had already taken it from him. By the time the manager finally stepped out of his office, the lobby had changed. The sharp buzz of activity had softened into a low murmur. Chairs Saturday empty. Pens lay abandoned on counters. Afternoon light poured through the windows, long and golden, stretching shadows across the floor. And still, by the wall, the farmer waited. The manager stopped short. For the first time all day, something tugged at him. Not guilt. Not concern. Unease. He cleared his throat and walked over, adjusting his tie as he went. Sir, he said, forcing a professional smile, you've been waiting quite a while. Yes, the farmer replied, rising slowly. I have. Well, the manager said briskly, let's see what we can do for you. What brings you in today? The farmer followed him to the desk without hurry. He Saturday when invited, placing the envelope between them with care, like something fragile. I'm here about my accounts, the farmer said. The manager nodded, already half distracted as he opened the envelope. Of course. Name. The farmer gave it. The manager's fingers paused. He flipped one page. Then another. His smile faded. His back straightened. He leaned closer, scanning figures, property lines, signatures. This can't be right, he murmured. The farmer waited. These holdings, the manager said, voice suddenly tight, this land runs north of the river and south past the old mill, the farmer finished calmly. Yes. The manager swallowed hard. The total value stared back at him, undeniable. Generational wealth. Quiet wealth. The kind that didn't announce itself with suits or loud voices. You own all of this? The manager asked. I tend it, the farmer corrected gently. Ownership's just paperwork. A silence fell, heavy and exposed. I came to make a deposit, the farmer continued. And to decide where my business belongs going forward. The manager straightened, urgency rushing into his tone. I apologize for the wait. That shouldn't have happened. We value every customer. The farmer raised a hand, stopping him. Not angrily. Firmly. I wasn't testing you, he said. I was watching. The words landed like a weight. I watched who was welcomed, the farmer went on. Who was rushed? Who was ignored? He met the manager's eyes. Patience tells you things money never will. The manager said nothing. The farmer stood, sliding the envelope back toward himself. I'll be taking my accounts elsewhere. Sir, please, the manager began. But the farmer was already turning away. At the door, he paused. Next time, he said kindly, don't measure worth by how long someone's willing to wait. Then he left. And for the first time that day, the bank felt very, very small. If you want, I can add a final moral voiceover. Rewrite for short-form viral storytelling. Make the ending sharper or softer. Polish all scenes into one complete script. Just tell me how you'd like to finish it.